Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I love these reciprocal lights so much. So I used to watch videos of Kylie Control singing and dancing on YouTube all the time, and I noticed that her favorite color was yellow to turn her reciprocal lights. And she had such heart and dedication with all the videos she was uploading to TikTok and Instagram that I installed these reciprocal lights over $200 later, and I've been using them as part of my backdrop for forever to record videos for you guys. There's a funny story about how one night I was recording a video and my reciprocal lights actually blew up and they short-circuited, so I had to reinstall a whole new brand new set of reciprocal lights, and I hope you guys love them. I have them turned the color of Bridget because, as many of you know who have been subscribed to this YouTube channel for forever, my favorite Descendants character has forever and always been Ruby Rose Turner's portrayal of the young Queen of Hearts, Bridget, because of just how kind she was. I honestly believe that she is the most genuinely sweet person that I've ever had the honor of talking about on my show, and I say this because I've talked about a lot of celebrities, from Lindsay Lohan to Dove Cameron to Hilary Duff, who just actually had a new single produced, and I'm very proud of Hilary for how far she's come with all the criticism she's faced over the last 20 years. I say this because I've been a fan of every celebrity there was, but I have never encountered a celebrity that was just so genuinely sweet and kind as Ruby was, and I think she's somebody that we can all learn from. And I think that's ultimately what made her everybody's favorite Descendants character, was just how sweet and how genuinely kind she was, because she really put forth how far kindness can really take a person and just how much further kindness can go in a lifetime. And I've always wanted to be a better person because of Ruby, so I just want to say thank you, Ruby, for inspiring me to really turn my life around and put the broken pieces of my heart back together. I've been involved in so many relationships over the years that couldn't make sense of Descendants and Zombies, but I used to watch Descendants and Zombies with so many wonderful people and see it attract so many wonderful age demographics that it became the greatest honor of my life to ultimately make me make the decision to sit behind this microphone to talk about Descendants and Zombies to a whole new generation of Disney fans. I have been a fan of Disney all of my lifetime, ever since I was probably 5 years old, when I was introduced to characters like Aladdin and Jasmine and Hercules and Meg. It was so fun growing up in that generation because Disney was really coming into its own, and they were creating so many innovative characters that were so fearless, that were heroes, and for every hero had a villain. And that was what made each story that you would watch growing up as a fan of Disney so intriguing, because for Hercules you had Hades, for The Little Mermaid Ariel you had Ursula, you had Captain Hook for Peter Pan. So for every hero came a villain, and it presented so much conflict and so much mystery with every story. And then, of course, successful franchises like Aladdin would become trilogies, and it was just so fun, you know, growing up a fan of Disney and all the Disney movies and all the Disney shows on Disney Channel, watching the afternoon block when you would get home from school, throwing your book bag down, feeling so encouraged to watch Disney ever before you did your homework. And to be honest with each and every, many nights I would be caught dead watching Disney, and I wouldn't even do my homework. And then after a special episode of a Disney show that I wanted to watch the latest episode of, like Goof Troop, I would sit down and do my homework, and probably have to pass an assignment the next day. And it was really crazy, but I was always a diehard fan of Disney, and I know what it's like growing up a fan of something, so I can really appreciate how you feel about Descendants and Zombies, and I know how you guys became fans of Descendants and Zombies because you became fans of the music, you became fans of your favorite character, because I don't care who you are. Everybody has a favorite character from the Descendants franchise that they grew up idolizing, and they still think so much about. Or you're a fan of Zombies because of the story and the love story that existed between Zed and Addison that was first brought forth in 2018. For me, it was a couple of days after Valentine's Day. I didn't have a Valentine that year, and I was really looking for something to help it make sense of my own life. And I remember watching Zombies, and Zombies did it for me. Zombies allowed me to achieve acceptance in my own life and really allowed me to put my life into perspective. And all the moments that we've seen from being fans of Descendants and Zombies are moments I really do believe that we are forever and always going to cherish, that are forever and always going to hold a special place in our hearts, regardless if it was because of the music, because of the story. We all have a reason for being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, a franchise that has brought us that much closer together. And I think seeing them on the stage for the first time ever, sharing the same stage as part of the Worlds Collide Tour, was the greatest honor of many of our lives. I, for one, was one of those critics on YouTube that never had the opportunity to attend one of the Worlds Collide Tour dates. There were 43 arenas scheduled all across the United States all throughout the summer of 2025, and I was one of those guys that had to sit in front of his computer and watch it on YouTube. I just purchased a brand new computer system that will be here next week, and I'm producing this computer system to produce far more innovative videos than ever before and higher quality for you guys. I think that if you're going to be a full-time YouTube creator, at least invest the time and the money behind creating great videos for people. So $1,000 later, I have a new computer system on its way to me this week to produce new videos for you guys. I wish I would have had it when I was reviewing the Worlds Collide Tour, because watching it on YouTube was a unbelievable experience for me. You know, seeing the lights, the special effects, how much energy was in every single room the Worlds Collide Tour happened in, and just seeing the energy coming from the fans. It was one thing to see the performances from Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Sky at an all-time high, but I think that just being a part of it and just being in the crowd was a different experience in its own right. I would have loved to have been in the crowd and had the opportunity to meet so many wonderful Descendants of Zombies fans, you know, waiting in the line to gain entry into the venue, being a part of the meet and greet. So I would have bought the VIP package and probably would have been front and center to ask questions to these people, because they were so into everything they did. That was what was so immersive about the Worlds Collide Tour, is that you were part of history that you never ever wanted to end, and that you just wanted to last forever. I think that moments, because moments like these only happen once every lifetime, these are moments that we have to take full advantage of, and we have to remember forever and always. And I think that when we're like 20, 25 years old, we're going to think back on all the time that we were fans of Descendants of Zombies. And see, that's where parents really need to understand how much captivation happens with Descendants of Zombies. People have felt really captivated by Descendants of Zombies. They've become immersed in these experiences being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because it only happens once for every lifetime. I know it's a trend. There are trends that Disney have put forth in front of us that we kind of grow out of, like Aladdin, of course Hercules, all the video games we grew up a fan of, because Disney was in this era where they would release video games off their most successful movies like Hercules and Aladdin and The Lion King. I remember Christmas morning opening up a package that had a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis in it with a Lion King or Aladdin bundled into it, and you thought you had the world. I know what it's like growing up as a fan of something, so I can appreciate your passion for collecting the Descendants dolls and all the merch, all the posters. As you see there in the back, I'm a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I've never covered that up or denied that. I'm a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy and video game collection. I'm very adamant about that. So I can find time in appreciating somebody who dresses up as their favorite Descendants character every year on Halloween. I encourage that, and I want you to follow your passions. If there's one thing I want you to take away from every video that I produce, it's to follow your passions. There is a reason why Kylie Cantrell said at the beginning of every Worlds Collide Tour that dreams can happen for anybody, because they really can. And that's what she wanted to take away from every performance that you attended at the Worlds Collide Tour, is that a dream can happen for everybody. Now, I've seen some of the most impossible dreams become a reality in the entertainment industry. I've been a part of the music industry independently. I've been a part of the stage production aspect of entertainment for forever. So I've seen some people really crash and burn under this kind of thing. But I've also seen some of the best of them come and go and achieve their dreams. So because I've seen some of the best of them come and go and achieve their dreams, that's exactly what I wanted to happen for you. I've wanted you to follow your passions. I've never wanted you to let anybody hold you down or hold you back from accomplishing what dreams you set out to accomplish in this lifetime, because the most valuable commodity about life is time. And I think sometimes we take for granted how precious time actually is, because we never know how much time we have or how long it is before time runs out. So I think that people like Bridget and Red and Chloe have done a better emphasis. I had a stronger emphasis on just how precious time is, because in the original Descendants trilogy, we talked about love. We heard conversations about love, and we heard conversations about romance and happily ever after, but there was never a stronger emphasis on time and how precious it was until we got to the Descendants franchise. And, you know, Red and Chloe actually understood the value of time and just how precious it was, because time always runs out. And I think that everybody wishes they had more time to spend around the people they love, to spend with the people they love and they care about, and just to tell them how much they mean to each other. And I think that if I had more time in my life, I would go back in time. I would tell more people around me that I surround myself with that I love. I would fix some of the mistakes that I've made, because as I've admitted to many of you on this show time and time again, I'm far from perfect. And with me, what you see is what you get. And that's always the incentive I've had with creating every video that I've uploaded, because a lot of people who upload these videos seem flawless. They seem like nothing can touch them. They are the best people ever. And I think that everybody is different, and that's what creates diversity in this world. But forever with me, what you see is what you get. And every single time I upload a video, I speak with an open heart and an open mind. I just ordered a 65-inch TV. I will have that for the premiere of Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland next summer, and I'm really excited about it. But I didn't order the 65-inch TV to be like all these other big-time YouTube creators to sit in front of my TV and watch Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland and criticize it. I ordered the TV to experience it in the way that it was forever and always meant to be experienced, which means never sitting down in front of your TV with a piece of paper and a pencil and writing down jot notes about how you feel about a production. Just sitting down in front of your TV as a fan and watching it, not knowing what's going to come next, makes it an experience worth living over and over again. If I could stop time, it would be to go back and witness the premiere of Descendants of Zombies all over again, because I know how much it touched your hearts, and I know what it's like to be a fan of Disney. I was the biggest fan of Aladdin, so that means I had every piece of Aladdin merchandise, from t-shirts to pajamas to the video game to watching the movie when it premiered in 1992. I thought Aladdin was my greatest hero, but for every hero had a villain, and of course Jafar was his adversary, but he was able to outride every amount of conflict that Jafar presented to him, and he wouldn't let Jafar hold him back from spending the rest of his life out with Jasmine, who he eventually married in The King of Thieves by 1997. I remember how all Aladdin ever wanted Jasmine to do was trust him, and when he finally earned her trust, it became a beautiful story. And I think that eventually what will happen for the characters in Descendants is they will find true love. If you actually follow along with the book series for Descendants, Red falls in love with a character named Ace. Now, we have yet to see how this will develop, but I think it will create more storylines. It will create more of an interesting story for people who actually want Red to find true love. Now, what I appreciated from the original Rise of Red movie was that the focus was on the friendship and how valuable it was to Chloe and Red, and how they were there for each and every single moment of each and every one of their lives. They never ever quit on each other, and they helped each other out of every circumstance and every situation. And I remember watching The Rise of Red for the first time and saying, man, I wish that I could have spent more time with my friends. I could have went back in time and told them how much I appreciated them, because really in this lifetime, what that movie presented to us was that you didn't really need a whole lot of friends. You just really needed 2 or 3 really good friends to help you make sense of your own life. No matter if you spent every Saturday afternoon at their house playing video games or board games, hanging out with them on Halloween and Christmas, even if you didn't really see them a whole lot, the thing is, you learned to appreciate friendship better because of The Rise of Red. And you also understood how much love meant to a person and how much true love can happen for a person when you saw zombies. And I think this story between Victor and Nova and the upcoming Zombies 5, regardless of when it happens, because we are still waiting on a release date, there is no confirmation on when Descendants 5 nor Zombies 5 will happen. But I think when it eventually happens, this story is going to be far more beautiful than ever given credit for, because of course it will present conflict between the two day groups, Daywalkers and Nightwalkers, and of course it will revolve around the relationship between Victor and Nova, and some conflict presented by the Moonstone, because the Moonstone is going to be overactive in this one because of mermaids and pirates and sirens possibly ending up the conversation. The cool thing about Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires was, as soon as we saw this vortex, within an hour of the movie's premiere, everybody was on social forums saying, okay, Zombies 5, what is inside of this vortex? The answer to that question right now could be mermaids, sirens, witches, or pirates, but the obvious answer is we don't know, because we're just drawing formidable conclusions. And I really hate drawing formidable conclusions, because for me to say there are mermaids, even with how I live on an island that have so many stories associated with mermaids and pirates, that would be drawing a conclusion, and it could be something completely different by the time we get to Zombies 5 and Zombies 5 happens. All I have to say for you is, regardless of what you think is inside of this vortex, have fun with it, and continue to have fun with it up until the premiere of Zombies 5 happens, because it will create more storylines, and it will make it more fun for you being a fan of Zombies, because I think Zombies has just as many fans and just as many supporters out there as what Descendants does. Although Zombies is a rating of 6.2 to 6.4, that really means nothing with me when 0.2 of a percentage separate the two franchises. Over 781 million hours of stream time for Descendants and over 250 million hours plus for Zombies. It's incredible how much of an impact these two franchises have had on a generation of Disney fans that will never ever forget the time they had as friends and as fans of Descendants and Zombies. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that. Descendants and Zombies is far more powerful than ever given credit for, because look what you did for Freya Sky, a girl who was just 15 years old at the time, performing on the Worlds Collide stage. And she had so many great reviews off the performances of Fake It and of course Gold's Gone. And I remember that emotional breakdown that Freya Sky had during the performance of Gold's Gone. I forgot what venue it was at, but I venture to say every venue that she performed that song at, she had an emotional breakdown with, because she was so appreciative of the moment she was sharing with each and every one of you. You guys, at that moment that I saw her break down on stage, I knew that you guys were the most incredibly supportive fans that I could ever provide commentary for, and I've never left since. And if you would do me the honor of allowing me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies for the foreseeable future, continuing onward, I promise you I will never go away and I will never let you down. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that, because I have a lot of conversation coming up about Supergirl and that new movie coming out in 2026, because I know how Meg Donnelly felt about auditioning for that role. She was left brokenhearted over it, and I can really feel for Meg Donnelly, because she's such a huge fan of superheroes, because I was too. There hasn't been a day go by in my life when I wish Spider-Man couldn't swoop in through my window and save the day, or save me from obstruction. I have always believed that superheroes are real, and I've always believed in encouraging to people who want to believe that superheroes are real and fairy tales can exist, that they can. Because they really can. Because if you only have one life to live, I mean, who's to tell you that superheroes aren't real and happily ever after doesn't exist? I think there are a lot of people, far too many people on YouTube, who wish Descendants of Zombies would just fade off into obscurity, and I've never ever wanted to be one of those guys. I've always wanted to be that guy that you could trust in for a video about Descendants of Zombies, because how many times do you find a Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel with probably just 100 videos and constantly promising you that they're going to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies that never emerge or never surface? I've wanted to promise you Descendants of Zombies videos to ensure that these videos will forever and always be here. And some way or somehow I've come through on that promise, and I followed up with what I promised you over a year ago, because on the very first video I ever uploaded on this YouTube channel, nearly 65,000 channel views later, I promised you I would upload videos about Descendants of Zombies every single time I had the opportunity to, no matter if it was 3, 4 videos, even 1 video a day. I think if everybody went out of their way upload more videos about Descendants of Zombies, this world will feel more confident, more courageous, more encouraged to pursue their dreams, and I think that that's the greatest accomplishment of my life. If there's one reason I'm going to go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, it will never be because I was a fan of Disney, because there are millions of fans of Disney out there. It will be because I was a fan and supporter of Descendants of Zombies, because that's what I am. No matter how many years I put behind me as a journalist, and a very successful one at that, I will forever and always go down in history for being a Descendants of Zombies fan and being incredibly supportive of your favorite stars, because I love them too. And I see the potential that exists inside of their hearts for you and because of you, because the feeling is really mutual. I mean, they can put Freya Sky on stage every single night for her own tour, or the Zombies Descendants Worlds Collide tour, which is fabulously done. But it's all about how you receive them, how you respond to them. And I think that outshines any amount of criticism that they ever encounter. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that, for what you've done for Kylie and what you've done for Freya, and made this the most unforgettable experience in my entire life. Thank you so much. Because of you, you are the reason why I will go down in history, why this show has become the most revered and most popular Descendants of Zombies show on the internet, with over 75,000 channel views, and over 3,000 people plus having subscribed to this YouTube channel every single day. Someone never fails to hit my subscribe button. I honestly don't know where I'd be without you guys. I've always had a passion for video games and board games, and whatever niche I was providing commentary on for the last at least 25 years have never been supportive of me as much as what Descendants of Zombies has. That's why I made the decision to dedicate the rest of my life to uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies, because that's what you guys deserve. I feel as if there are far too many critics on YouTube, always and forever, criticizing your favorite stars, and enough is enough. It's about time somebody uploaded videos about Descendants of Zombies with prestige and that same honor that you have forever and always carried with you. That you remember the moments because of being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. People are friends now because of Descendants of Zombies. You guys deserve to be honored. You guys deserve to have Descendants of Zombies discussed in a way that it's never been discussed before. And I have each and every one of you to thank for making this YouTube channel into such a huge success, because I never thought from the very first Dove Cameron video I uploaded about 10 years ago, I would be sitting here in this chair over 10 years later talking about Descendants of Zombies for such a worldwide audience that feel very differently about Descendants of Zombies from one fan to the next, because everybody feels differently about Descendants of Zombies, and I really do appreciate that. You know, some people feel this should have happened, this should have never happened. I get that, because everybody's opinion about Descendants of Zombies differs. There are people who watch these videos that don't even like Descendants of Zombies to begin with, but there are 95% of the people who do watch these videos who believe in Descendants of Zombies from the very beginning, from its very first chapter in 2015. July 31st, 2015 will be a date in my mind that I will never ever forget, because it changed my life for the better. and it brought me back. If anything, Descendants and Zombies fans brought me back from out of nowhere, and I have each and every one of you to thank for that, because the more people on YouTube now know who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is because of you. Every single time I throw this video up on my X account, or I throw it up in my archives on my YouTube channel, you guys have been forever and always supportive of me, and I can never seem to put into words how appreciative I am of you. Having said that, I will be back later on tonight with one final video just after sunset, which I cordially invite you to join me for. But I can't go without saying thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel, because I don't know where I'd be without you. Keep Descendants and Zombies in your heart, guys, because the conversation never has to end, and we will keep it going for the foreseeable future as your voice of Descendants and Zombies on the official Descendants and Zombies podcast, the unofficial Descendants and Zombies podcast on YouTube. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. You've been watching the latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, man. Keep on hitting that subscribe button and that like button, because your love and support is forever and always appreciated on the unofficial Descendants and Zombies podcast on YouTube, because life is that much sweeter when all of us are. Thank you so very much.